like you in television stations and studios, network studios, you'll go a long way. Mm-hmm. You'll go a long way. Like I have a son. We were talking about Bill. He's my boy. He works for Jenny O'Brien. And Mac McIntyre.
Oh, Mike McIntyre.
McIntyre.
Yeah,
So Mike. I saw Mike
Forum Snowboards.
I saw him at Mike Shirow passed, and so we went to his funeral. And Mike I was telling him what my boy did, and Mike, who's a big deal, he does all the X Games and stuff now. He goes, the whole key in this business is getting along with people, and then these are for the shooters and all that stuff. And it's really true in television. It's really true, just getting along with people and being liked. So television like that, I did like everybody. Yeah.
And is that a union gig?
Union gig.
Yeah, so you're retired with a union
pensions are awesome. Dude. Pensions are awesome.
Medical.
Yeah, and then the government gives you money like every month too. I'm like, really? Social Security? I'm like, oh no, this is sick.
So wax isn't a problem right now. You can afford wax.
No, it's awesome. It's the hard part is I just retired probably 3 months ago. Is just figuring out how, because you can do anything you want, and like you're a mover. I was watching you, and you got a million things going in your mind. When you take the guardrails out of a job, then it just expands into everything, and it's scary as shit because you're just like doing everything. I'm trying to do everything. I want to learn how to paraglide. I want to do this. I want to do that. All these things keep coming into my mind, and I've literally in the last couple of months have gone. Yesterday was the first day I picked up a book and tried to just read it. Because I was like, there's all this time. I used to go to work, and that was my time to mellow out.
Right.
But
prepare.
Yeah.
But you have started a new business.
Well, I've been doing it for like 12 years.
Oh, you have?
Weather Applied Metrics, yeah.
Okay.
And it's we do metrics for Major League Baseball for the last 5 or 6 years, where we model the stadium's CAD, computer animated design, and then we run CFD models over that. And then we can tell you when the wind blows from one direction or one speed exactly what's happening is 1 foot by 1 foot section of that stadium. So we project
the microcosm of a weather report.
Exactly. It's very micro.
Yeah.
And it's for baseball, for football, for volleyball, beach volleyball especially. It really comes up a lot. So we're working with a bunch of Major League Baseball's our anchor tenant right now. But it's been fun. I invented it, the idea, the process of doing it. We have a patent. But in terms of the business stuff, we were talking about that. It's like it's kind of turned into a businessy thing now. It's kind of like, so we're talking to NBC right now about Sunday Night Football. I'm actually doing.
Well, if you talk to NBC, it's a bit. You have a business.
Yeah. It's business.
We don't have NBC talking to us, do we?
No, they're not calling right now.
No. Well, yeah. So no, I'm doing that, and then I do this Bill Martin West Coast Weather on YouTube, and I'm having a blast. Because it's exactly, like I literally, like there's like 5 people that watch it, which they're sick. I know my sister's right there.
Mark sponsor one of them watching it?
No, I'm not even trying to make money. I'm just trying to enlighten people on, all of us on what's available in terms of getting weather forecasts. Because I'll tell you, phone apps suck. They just do. And you guys, when you, like where you live, like in Bend or where you live up here in the mountains, you know your area really well. So if I can show you a satellite map, and a surface observation, and a forecast model that's simple to look at, you're going to make a much better forecast than anybody else can, and you can learn that in like 5 or 10 minutes. So I kind of lay all that stuff out because I don't want to demystify it, because I was a Berkeley guy, I was climatology, graduate work in atmospheric science, but I realized that so much of that really awesome science information that gets in academia gets buried. And we don't, like, meteorologists are the worst for this, especially TV meteorologists. And by the way, most people on TV aren't meteorologists. 99% are.
They're fake. They're claiming they are.
They're fake.
We told Lee Sullivan that?
No, yeah.
They're awesome because they're good communicators, but they're not. They don't know what they're talking about in terms of the dynamics of weather. And so it's just so like they have a tendency to guard the information. And that's my YouTube thing's awesome. I just go, I just dump it out there. Like this morning, we were looking at the four-door acoustic profiler. I was explaining marine layer depth and how that impacts the delta breeze and blah, 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 how everything's connected. And that's really gratifying.
Well, it's also, you can talk about what you want. You're not under a time schedule of getting your information out. You can go through it.
Yeah.
Probably a pretty fun gig.
It's after 38 years of being on TV, which I enjoyed, but it was for 3.5-minute hits. You do a bunch of these. I think this morning I went like 24 minutes. And then at the back end, I backload it with cool stuff like I was doing the eagle cams. I just do some nature stuff at the end. The front is all weather and dynamics and how to make it your own forecast. And then the back half is, oh, isn't this freaking cool?
Right. So if you made it that far,
yeah,
watching it, you reward them.
That's kind of what I think. I kind of think that. And some people, I have a few followers, and they're kind of awesome. Like, I kind of like them all. I think we're all going to hang out because they're just like, they write really awesome comments about what they'd like to see, what they don't like. And again, knowing as much about weather as I do, most of it's just from being in that position for so long.
Right.
I mean, I've forgotten, you forget so much what you learn in school, but what you don't forget is pattern recognition of day to day, boots on the ground, watching the surf, whatever you do. You get really good at stuff. And that's my age.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Going back to this stadium, the analytics of wind coming into a stadium and stuff, are architects working with you to like make...
Interesting you said that. They're talking to us about in Oakland when they were going to do that harbor. They were going to put a stadium in there. They were going to talk to us about how to design the stadium. So it does come up how to design the stadium. AT&T. I don't know. Is Giants still play? Is it AT&T?
Well, it was Pac Bell.
Pac Bell. That's why I never know what they call it.
Yeah.
I remember when they
call it
built
Pac Bell.
Yeah, I call it Pac Bell too. But they, when they built that thing, they got involved with the Davis Meteorology Department, and they're an awesome department up there at Davis. But they kind of screwed it up because they thought that the prevailing winds, which are northwest, would blow right out, and the balls would fly. It'd be a really hot stadium. It's not. It's not at all, and it's something they didn't take into account, which is what we're finding from doing these modeling of stadiums. Is there a boundary or barrier effect where the wind hits the lip? Like, when a wave comes around a point or bends, well, wind does the same thing in a vertical direction. So the wind hits the wall, the westerly side of the stadium, goes this way, and then bends down in. So by the time it gets to right field, you probably notice in right field those flags doing this.
Yeah,
no matter how damn windy, and the windier it is, the more they kind of hang down. There's a freaking big drop off there. Wow. Barry was the only guy that could really hit out of that.
Routinely.
Yeah, routinely, and with some help. And so they didn't know any of this stuff. So we kind of know stadium dynamics or climatology, that's pretty exciting because there's when you watch fireworks after a baseball game and even there's no wind. You ever watch the smoke?
Yeah.
That's huge. It is a huge impact. So so it's there's a lot going on.
I see a bunch of those spoilers on top of semi trucks. Sitting out there on the fence, like
absolutely. Yeah.
Give it a little lift.
Can we touch on a comment on what just happened in Texas as far as forecasting and
I mean, there's so much going on. First of all, like, it's so sad.
Of course,
There's the component of climate change is the atmosphere is warmer. So if the atmosphere is warmer, it can hold more water. So that's sort of that everybody kind of agrees on that, and that is happening. So these storms are loaded. It's almost like putting steroids into your arm or something of a storm.
A thicker sponge.
It's a thicker sponge. Yeah. And so what happened in Texas, I mean, besides the topography and all that, and the fact that they had a sleepaway camp in a river drainage basin is in a place that floods. I mean, there's all sorts of bad things that happen there. I mean, I don't know. That was just sad. It just made me sad. It made me sad to see for a lot of reasons. But one thing was that nobody saw to not leave the camp there. Like, you can't. I mean, I would never. You would know that. You see the sound that runs the river, how it blows out. You know.
We can't build in a floodplain here.
No, we can't.
Anywhere.
No, I mean, I'm dealing with trying to remodel my kitchen right now. You wouldn't believe what it takes to remodel a kitchen.
Yeah.
How they got away with leaving that camp in a floodplain is amazing.
Well, and then you go. I mean, it's too soon to discuss it, but it's hopeful that as you go down the road that these mistakes will be picked up on and taken care of. One of the things I had when I was at Berkeley, I had a biogeology or a geologic hazards class, and when Orman Granger talked about, and it was true that, like you talked about floodplains. Look what people built. Look where look where the Indians lived. Look where the main villages were. They weren't in floodplains. They weren't in tsunami zones. They weren't in earthquake zones. They in the missions too. The Spanish missions were in places like that.
Right.
So that we've gone beyond that. We've started building on ridgelines. We've built in the Western River floodplains, and we know it's going to flood. We know it's going to burn. We know it's so it's kind of like we're asking for it a little bit. It's California.
Well, yeah. I mean, maybe the fires that we have.
Oh my God!
The destruction is because we're building in these forests.
Yeah.
You know, and
when the forest could be cleaned up. I mean, the last 100 years, we don't let fires burn. All the things you know. But it's not this administration or it's the last 10 administrations, 20 administrations have not really taken care of the wildlife. We put out fires, but as you point, to protect these homes that are in places that maybe they shouldn't be. And so, but we're all guilty of it. I had a place in Marin on the ridgeline. I loved it. So it's a risk we are willing to take, but sadly, these are the things that can't happen.
Can I ask you what the difference between you and like Mark Sponsler, who's measuring or forecasting waves?
Yeah.
Is that different to what you are doing?
Mark and I are really good friends.
I've been to his house. I went to his house in Contra Costa. And like, where the hell am I going?
Yeah.
And I end up in his house, and in that room of his where he's got all the screens and everything. It's really pretty cool. But is that different to what he's doing?
Mark's more deep dive. If you're talking about the YouTube channel or he's more of he really goes deep and granular, which I love. And he's the best. I mean, a big wave forecasting.
Right.
He is the guy. We're all kind of doing the same thing. I mean, it's what's happened is all this information has become available to us.
Yeah.
Through the loveliness of the internet, and and so everybody's using it, and everybody's realizing that's kind of what I'm trying to do on my deal. Is listen, you got it too. You don't have to listen to some guy in a double-breasted suit, telling you what's going to happen this weekend. You can dial it, and you can dial it way better. Like you guys know your weather way better than I know your weather. I can give you an idea what's coming, but you guys know.
I remember talking to Lee Solomon. You know Lee.
Lee, I know Lee.
So I go, Lee, you got the easiest job in the world, dude. It's foggy till noon, and then noon on, it's sunny. Done. I mean, in England, where I come from, it could be snowing in the morning and sunny in the afternoon. I go, dude, you got the easiest job. He goes, no. He goes, everything around here is all microclimate. They're all different. Scots Valley is 20 degrees hotter than Aptos or wherever. Wow. All these little microclimates. So, but you did that on a bigger scale than being in the Bay Area.
Yeah, the Bay Area is more fun than Santa Rosa because I love the Bay Area, but Santa Rosa was smaller and I had a community, so I was more in that microclimate with them. Whereas the Bay Area, there's the three big climates, coast, bay, inland, but then there's 22 climates in between all of those. So one of the things to know about weather is, and this will help you want to know more. But the weather balloons they send up twice a day from SFO, Oakland, San Jose, all the airports are required to do it. Some ships at sea. They send the weather balloons, the soundings. That one goes up at 5 in the morning, one goes up at 5 in the evening. That's it. That's all your model data is. 90% of your model data is driven from those soundings. So the morning sounding goes up. Those numbers come back in about an hour. They go into the computer 4 hours later. That model's ready to look at because there's so many computations to make. And it's already now 4 hours old. And then it's 8 hours old by the time the next sounding goes up and you do it all again. So my point is there's not a lot of data points. It'll get better, I assume. But, that's the problem with weather. That's why it's so important to be boots on the ground in your community, understanding what's happening with the weather, understanding how to read the profiler, how to read the soundings, all these things. It's not hard to do.
It used to be you went to Radio Shack and bought that little cube
weather
radio with the
you go like this.
Oh, that's awesome.
I Velcroed that thing on my desk.
I thought it was so cool. Did you have which one did you have?
I had a little square one with the white button on it.
Yeah, that's it.
That thing was awesome.
Yeah, I got pissed because it used to be real people doing it. And then they went to a computer animated voice, which was kind of annoying because I didn't like her. It was a woman, and it was just the way she sounded. But they used to have the guys that I knew, weather service guys, Noel and those guys, and they would go into the box every whatever and record these things, and they were awesome.
Well, you get the buoys.
They're still awesome. It's still out there.
I used to go hike the Big Flat all the time, I would bring my weather radio, and on the very tip of the point, if I stood on a rock and put the antenna up and held it like this, I could hear it from the very tip out there at that point break.
Okay, so I've had death threats from Big Flat.
Oh, yeah, a lot of people have.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that. Yeah. It doesn't exist.
Oh my God! Well, I took a picture one time. A friend took a picture of it from an airplane, and no identifying features. And it's probably early social media, so I put it in literally the Boy Scout.
Yeah.
I don't know how I did.
There was a guy up there that did a surfing magazine story about it, and he got beat up. And,
I'm sure he did. Yeah. They're pretty. I mean, I've been threatened. It's awesome.
So how I found out about that is there was a guy up there named John, a kneeboarder, and
I
I
know who he
worked
is.
at Freeline, and he would come and buy knee boards from John Mel.
Oh, really?
And when I was growing up, I always went north surfing. I didn't go south.
You're a marin guy.
I wanted
You
to go
go
north. Yeah, we'd go all the way up to the Washington border and just try to find stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But he goes, "Hey, I'm gonna tell you about it," and that's how I found out. And so I still have a backpack.
You'll never know. We can't ever tell. You can't tell anybody.
It's in Orange County. Don't worry.
It's a long way away.
But
there's a lot of good ways that people don't know about.
I saw you went to the surf ranch.
I just got back.
Yeah.
Okay. How was it?
I've been a couple times, which is kind of like, it sounds like I'm rich, but I'm not. It's just I have a rich friend who's like, we're all going. It's awesome.
Best friend.
I've been twice with my rich friend.
It's literally, it's weird.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But
It misses the ambiance you have out here is missing.
yes, oh yeah, it's not surfing at
No,
all.
no.
It's the thing that sucked. I'll tell you, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, right? Because I went the first time, I got some sick little barrels. This time, my first wave, I totally went. We go for the Cap 1, which was the Kelly Slater
Yeah.
bomb, because they have different categories.
crank
I went
it
to
up, yeah.
Yeah, I went literally, and now, like literally by the end of the trip, I go, please, let's do the Waikiki wave. I did the first 2 waves I had. I took off, and I was like, boom, 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 and everybody's watching. You got your crews out there, and I'm like, you're God. Once you're playing, you're like, I'm so freaking awesome. And I freaking and I start to throw, and I tuck back in there, and I'm kind of tall, and I'm like, it's starting to get dark. I'm like, oh, this is sick,
Boom.
sick, and then went up over the falls, boom. Now Kelly Slater's wave pool.
It's short. It's
shallow.
shallow.
It's concrete.
Yeah.
It's not-
Oh yeah.
So I hit the bottom. This is where the story gets weird and good. I don't concuss, but even if you do concuss, you're staying out. You're not coming in.
Right.
So I get my ass handed to me. I'm a little shaken, but I'm like, here comes my next wave. 10 minutes later, it's about every 5 minutes you get a wave, and it's same thing. I take off, same thing, get just pummeled. So now the rest of the trip, every wave I get. Well, first of all, I gave Bill. I had 4-hour sessions, 4 1-hour sessions. I gave Bill 2 of my hours. That God knows what that costs. And then my next whatever number of waves, next 2 hours of waves, was me outrunning the barrel. I'll show you a video later. Like it's way back there. It's way down.
Hitting the fence.
So I was thinking about the other surfing. I go, God damn, man, really? That's how. But I am old, so I'm like, I just can't take a hit. I can't take a hit like I used to.
Well, I have friends who surf very well and have said that bottom really hurts.
It hurts, man.
Yeah.
If you get deep.
First, I was out there last time I went a couple months ago, and all of a sudden, boom! This flash goes right by me. I'm holy shit!
Yeah.
I thought it was some kid, little Grom. Sean Thompson.
Oh, really?
Fuck.
Got thrown over the
Where
fall.
were you? Where were you?
At the ranch
Oh,
with
wow.
Sean. Guy took 32 people,
He's such a good surfer.
and then Sean Thompson was one of them. He was still.
Wow.
I can tell you, dude, you're still in my eye the world champ.
He's a god, yeah.
No,
Yeah, he's a-
We've had him on the show. He was an awesome guest.
He's such a nice guy.
Yeah, super
and
nice.
The tragedy with his son and his explanation and description of his last day with him. It was a tear.
But he came by me like it was a train went by me. Holy smoke, flying.
Oh yeah. That's how. Yeah. That's how we think we surf.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Any cool surfing trips you've been doing lately?
I do lots of. What am I doing? I got friends down at the ranch, which is
Awesome.
Bert and I have similar friends in common down there, so I get to roll down there a little bit. Weirdly enough, I love Santa Barbara in the middle of winter, El Cap. I love going there.
That's Sean Thompson's favorite wave.
I've had so much fun there. Like I went there last winter with my wife, and we were supposed to travel, do a big trip, and it was breaking.
I know, it's just really weird. It's like a rare day.
It's a
when
rare
it's really
day.
breaking.
I never
yeah.
really. And so
Honey, we're not going anywhere, honey.
we sat there for like 5 days,
Yeah.
and she goes, "What are we doing today?" And I go, "Yeah, we're doing."
Well, it is one a premier wave. It is
It's that inside section.
That
where
inside,
the
it's
sand goes.
amazing. Yeah, it's fantastic and such a little gem, and it's a rare break.
Who gave you your first board? And who?
You know who? Bob Pearson shaped my first board over here at the warehouse in 1979 or 80. A big fat Rayleigh twin fin. Like literally that would work now. Like would probably go for
They're
many
making
thousands of
them
dollars.
again.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
an awesome board. And Bob's an awesome guy.
He was our first guest.
He was
Was
the
he?
first guest.
Yeah.
And Bob just broke his femur.
No.
Yeah.
Was he scanned?
I don't know how, because the guy told me. I did it.
Broke his femur.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
don't know how he did it.
Hopefully
Bob's
Bob's
not. He's got to be.
Bob's 75.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's awesome.
He's awesome. Right? He was nice back then.
He's
I was a
just
little
nice.
kid. I had like $100.
I would say, Bob, would you come on the show? Yeah, I'll come on the show.
Of course he would.
He brings all these huge guns and
Yeah.
He let me. I got to sit in the shaper's room with him. He goes, "You want to come watch me shave it?" I'm like, "Yeah, that'd be sick."
I did a whole.
Long gone.
I'll send it to you. I did a whole thing of his shop with me and Bob. A whole video with me and Bob just going around every room in his shop. I'll send it to you. It's a cool video.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
Bob Pearson's been very consistent in his attitude, and his willingness to please his customers, and just his aloha vibe.
Yeah.
He's been the same way for, we're getting on to like 50, 60 years now.
And Bob was at the ranch that day. Bob was ripping.
Was he?
Oh,
he hates backside though.
He was on a paddle, on his stand up, ripping.
Oh, on his stand up.
Yeah,
wow.
I was too. I was on a stand up.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a great surfer.
Yeah.
Do you remember when those guys were up at Arrow on the other side of town? Arrow, Ward Coffee.
Oh yeah, for
Bob
sure.
Pearson,
Yeah.
and somebody else from Bud worked there.
Bud Miller.
Miller worked there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's funny. That's back. That's back.
No, yeah, Ward Coffee was, man.
Is Ward still around?
Yeah,
He was
still
just
shaping.
He was just on the show a month ago.
Was it?
Yeah,
Jesus
yeah.
Christ, you guys have everybody on.
Yeah, no,
Everybody.
Ward's doing awesome. And
The thing is that the thing is you have to come back because you can't. Like for example, we can't fit you in an hour.
yeah, there's a lot going on.
I'll call you in 6 months. Say, hey, would you come back on again?
Yeah.
Like next week is Dr. Hetzler. You know Dr. Hetzler,
Yeah.
the surface
ear
so
doctor.
comes every year. Comes every year, and there's a line out the door with people because he'll give free ear checks.
Yeah, I need that actually. Who was the other guy that he just passed that used to do here?
Doc Scott.
I saw Doc
Yeah.
Scott used to come to the beach all the time.
Yep.
He just passed like
He
last
just
week.
no, it was a few weeks back, but they had his paddle out.
Oh, did they?
Last week, yeah. But no, Doc was.
He was such a cool cat.
It was really cool to see on social media the kids because he ran the WSA here, and he would I saw Skin Dog put a post up that he rode his bike down there, and Bob goes, "There's a spot for you. Get your board." He's like, "I'm not surfing." He goes, "Get your board. You're in the contest." And I mean, Skin Dog says that changed his life that day, and he spent his entire life in the surf industry, And Doc did that to so many people, and just a class.
Well, you guys have with the thing that we didn't have. I was an Ocean Beach guy, and we talked about this earlier when I came in. But you were a Marin guy, Ocean Beach guy. You were in Santa Cruz, but the cultures didn't really blend back in the day at all. And you'd come, but when I'd come down here, what I remember most was the surf culture was. This is back when Flea was a kid. I mean, these guys were babies. Vince was at the Lane and those guys. But it was very Doug Hout and those guys. I mean, I knew all the names because I'd travel alone, so you guys would let me come out. It was cool, but it was a real culture. It's a real. I mean, we have a surf culture in San Francisco, but it's weird. It's like I can go bigger than you. I can't cut back, but I can ride a barrel forever. But you guys had a full, well-rounded arc of a surf culture. And
very social.
Very social.
That's the difference. Growing up in San Francisco,
Well,
nobody was happy when you rolled down to the beach.
No.
Here, you roll down, you have your coffee, and you BS for 30 minutes before you paddle out.
And you guys would talk to each other. We didn't really talk to each other. We'd get mad at each other or whatever. And then we kind of formed a little group, but we were very separate. Right? You had the Marin guys, we had the City guys, we had the Pacifica guys.
Right.
Had Jeff Clark and those guys down in Half Moon Bay. You had the guys that surfed 4 Mile and Scott. I mean, everybody was we were all so different.
And you were moving, you were getting swept down the beach constantly.
Oh, God.
So here we all post up on the same rock.
Yeah, I know.
It was just so different. And you take turns and you talk about that. OB, for me growing up, I just paddled the entire time.
I wonder if that's
all
why
you do.
I wonder if that's why the culture is not so different. That you do have one takeoff point or 2 or 3.
Right.
Because the beach, we would just hustle around. I'm going to go down here. It's the same damn thing up that
Yeah.
whole beach. But here, like Frosty's a friend. I'll sit on First Peak with him and stuff. Or I saw Trevor today. But you guys develop a community when you do that. Because we didn't talk. But when you're in the community, you guys were very vocal. Like if I paddle out and I didn't belong there, you guys, what the fuck are you doing? Doing, and you would keep the community intact,
Right.
and maybe that's why it's like that.
Pre-cell phone.
My roommates at the ranch were Frosty and Sean Thompson.
How'd Frosty do?
Frosty was Frosty.
Yeah. Hey, let me tell you something about Frosty. He was a dick when I was a kid.
Yeah.
He'll tell you that. He was such a dick back. I've told it to his face. Like, remember, because we were talking the other day in the water. But, there's a time we wouldn't even talk, dude. And he goes, "Yeah, I was kind of a dick." But, yeah, you were kind of a dick, Frosty. But
He would get too many waves.
yes,
And he was
And he
really
just-
good at it.
Right.
And and he that was a problem.
And he would surf big boards.
Yes, there's absolutely
Big boards.
Yeah.
He paddled. He wouldn't wait. He just kept going. And
Yeah, that's just
he still does it today. But says it's frosty. What are you going to say?
Yeah.
But again, that goes back to the community. You guys have an awesome community. And the beach, we all hunkered around Bob Wise when he passed a few years back. We're all like lost children. We really are, because there's no there with us. Remember Bill Hickey? Those guys. I mean, Bill was there before Bob. Jack O'Neill had a shop.
He did,
at Ocean Beach. But as soon as Bob went, there's like no there, and nobody knows who anybody is, and it's the tech bros that are there, and they're nice guys. Everybody's nice, but it's not. You guys still have it at Community Tech. When I paddled out today, everyone's first people was really small and stupid. But I knew like 3 or 4 guys, and it was all in control. Everybody's talking and being friendly, and it's like, yeah, that's kind of cool.
When Bob Wise closed his store, I was shocked.
The new one,
the new one, the one in Kelly's, because I just thought there would always be a Wise surf shop.
Me too.
I just never expected it to go away, and I was surprised that someone didn't take it over.
Me too. And the brand, you had a good, strong brand. I tried to talk him into working the brand. I lived in my car when I was in graduate school for like 5 years. Graduate school, I know it's 2 years. but Wise, this is how awesome Wise was. He literally found out about it because I just sleep on the street. It was easy because it was back then. It was cool homeless.
The homeless wasn't like it is.
It wasn't sad homeless. It was like, oh man, that guy's killing it. Like it was fun. But he gave me the keys to the shop, and he goes, I got a bathroom down here, downstairs. On the pool table, and he used to give me boards and let me pay back in time. And I remember, so he was sort of like my dad. He's not that much older than me, truthfully. But he was, and that to a lot of us. Aaron was like that. Plank was like that.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, Bob, he was a dad to all of his employees too.
He was.
Yeah, he really was.
Did VC didn't hassle you when you came out here?
Vince,
back in the day,
I was super scared of Vince.
You were.
He was really aggressive.
That's everybody else too.
Our guest last week, Vince was throwing rocks at him. All the boys would. Who didn't talk to him forever? Well, that was Walt.
Walt.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Vince was. I liked Vince because I liked the way he kept controlling the water.
Yeah.
He got, as soon as he came out the lane, you knew he was there, and you knew, and they'd throw me waves. I'd see him put on you all the time with Kevin Reed and Bud and those guys, and I'd be by myself. And I think they sort of were cool with it because these guys alone, and it wasn't like I was stealing waves off these guys. I mean, they were crushing it on their own.
There was a lot to be said when you travel by yourself.
It really was. And that's probably the best thing about my experience on this coast has been. I was very much Ocean Beach centered. But I was up and down the coast by myself.
Did you study meteorology in the van? Is that your homework?
I was undergraduate geology and climatology at Berkeley. Yeah. And then my postgraduate stuff was atmospheric science at San Francisco State.
Right.
So
could that van tell some stories?
Yeah, it could. It sucked. But then, yeah. Well, Laura used to bail me out.
That was a long time ago.
But I literally, it sounds like, oh, he's in his car right now. I had girlfriends. I had friends. So I would maybe van for 2 nights, maybe somebody's hacienda for a couple nights. And so it was really a fun existence. It was like being a nomad.
Yeah. And you were like the original van life.
I feel like I was.
Seriously.
I feel like I was. Like I had that. Do you remember those little solar showers you used to hang from?
The black.
These were awesome. They're still better than the solar stuff. They're still better than the tube.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
I agree. But I had one of those, and that's all you needed. Or you go to every JC has a shower. Nobody knows you go to school every night.
Yeah.
Shower up there.
Yeah.
I used to work out in the gym.
And showers used to be at the beach.
Yeah.
Back then there were showers.
Yeah, there were.
Who's making your next board?
I just bought a new board, but I don't really have people make me boards.
No.
I'm not that good a surfer. I mean, I'm proficient. I was thinking about today. I go, I'm proficient.
You get barrel at a Cat 1.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'll show you the picture of me way out front of that barrel. God. Well, it's funny when you're old. How old are you?
I'm 63.
Yeah. So I'm almost 67.
I'm older than you.
How old are you?
68.
Oh yeah, so like you get swatted. Like I haven't been swatted in a while, and it's like. Oh.
I remember the first wave I saw somebody catch. The first time I went there, the guy came up and his nose was his nose was here, blood everywhere.
Everybody gets hurt on those trips. Like our whole group, everybody was limping the next day because there's no way you're not going to pull in as far as you can pull in.
Yeah, for sure. And it's so funny because it doesn't look like that to the naked eye. Like when you watch the videos,
doesn't like you get hit.
Yeah, it doesn't look.
But
like
you get so what happens? You get slammed. You get slammed quick.
It just looks like this perfect wave.
Yeah.
And you feel like the lip's like kind of like a ranch down here in Santa Barbara lip, but the wave is like, I think I read something that's like twice as powerful energy momentum of a regular wave because of the way the bottom's flat and it's laminar. And this, you see this train, it's basically a freaking train with a big snowplow scoop, and then it rolls down the track, and the energy in the wave is weird. It's just
it is weird.
And it was weird, and it was weird.
And it's fresh water.
Once I got fresh water. Once I got a little dinged up, I was like, it's scary. I look at my is the hour over yet? Because every wave's a barrel.
I'm kind of thirsty.
Every wave's a barrel, and you got to go. And there's the middle barrel, which is manageable. That's really manageable. The inside barrel is like sand spit.
Yeah,
it's like
it's critical.
It's critical. Yeah. I have
and people stall. The biggest flaw is trying to stall for that.
Never stall. Never stall. I stalled.
TC, you want to give them 2 questions? You want to?
Sure, that's great. Yeah, we ask our seasoned guests the same question, and it is, what is your favorite decade and why?
Wow. Can I 55? Can I go 55 to 65? Or does it have to be? It has to be a decade. Doesn't have to be 60s.
You can do whatever you want.
I think a decade's 10. 55 to 65. 1955 to 65. I love Eddie Cochran. I love all the old, I can't remember the names right now.
So that's your music.
Music, but style. The style was sick. It was awesome. You look at what James Dean was doing back in the day, and those guys were awesome. And then the mid '60s show up, still awesome.
Yeah.
And now we're getting into my sister's generation, and they just dress like idiots because the hippies show up, and they're cool and everything, but they're a pain in the ass. They take all this cool James Dean shit that's been handed to them on a silver platter, and they go, I'm just gonna wear a macrame tank top. It's like, no, it's not cool. So I love the way they dress. I love the way they dress, and I love the music, and I also think, in the music more than the way they dress, but the idea that was brave. To play the music, some of the music they were playing. I mean, just rock and roll. Even Elvis, I don't even like Elvis that much. She's awesome.
Yeah.
But that was pretty brave what they were doing.
Or when he shook his hips, the world stopped.
It was because you forget the filter of time. These are World War II veterans watching you, going, "What are you doing?" And being constantly reprimanded by your elders, and to be able to do that. So I love that era. 55 to 65 to me is like, wow.
And your favorite day of surfing was?
Gosh.
Is it a fun favorite?
Well, I had a few. I mean, I've had so many days.
But usually when we ask this, someone comes up with a day.
A day. Oh, a day. They can remember the number?
Yeah, the day that not the actual date itself, but a session. Like you were at Honolulu Bay.
I've been so fortunate in my life that I've surfed the surf ranch, obviously, but the ranch a bunch, and I've had some amazing days at Coho. We used to get passes. Press Hotchkiss used to get us passes up there. We camped there for 3 days, so we had a couple of 3-day runs there. They were awesome. So, but I've had. I mean, this place, Santa Cruz. It's a world class wave.
Well, it's a
world class wave, and it's close.
Yeah.
It's my weather statistics, because I've been to the ranch a bunch.
Yeah.
The ranch on a normal swell coming out of the northwest or a little more west, gets in through before the islands. It's the same size as Second Peak. The swell. So so if Second Peak's like head high, double overhead, a good swell, you can go down to the ranch. Same size. It's really interesting how it works. It's like you can have a camera here on Pleasure Point, and the ranch is
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's amazing when you think about Ocean Beach. I used to have a calendar where I kept track of like all the surfers probably do. I keep track of every day, and and then put plus minus, had little codings. And I was a meteorologist at the time, and so I was paying attention to weather and conditions. There were, out of the entire year, there were 50 days that you could surf the beach.
Wow.
50. Of those 50, 20 days that were pretty good, and 10 days that were awesome. That's a low percentage.
That's why I moved to Santa Cruz.
That's a low percentage.
Did you ever have a day where you didn't go to work because you were surfing? Like, screw it. This is too good.
I've had a lot of days like that. Like, especially when I was at Channel 2, I was like, because I was married to the newscast. And so I would go, and you'd see the swell pop up in the middle of the week, in February, and kids are still in school. You know the deal. And I'm not going to work day. Yeah, I know. Kind of hate that phone call. You're such a dick. I feel very. You pretend like you're sick on the phone. I'm a 65-year-old man, and I'm pretending to be sick to a 28-year-old intern who's taking the phone call. I'm like,
I literally get those calls all the time. I have 35 teenagers over.
Oh yeah.
It's like, you're hungover. Just be honest. I get it. But that's cool that you did that.
No, I've never. Yeah, I've done that. But surfing's changed, and what I like about it and don't like about it, like the crowd thing is weird. Like I saw, Julian out here. Mm-hmm. I saw Julian. He's grown up out here basically, and I've been surfing with him since he was a little kid. And I was asking him, he goes, it's getting busier every day, man. And it's like the little kids, when they say it's getting busy, it's getting busy. But it's so busy now, and there's so many people on the water, sometimes it's hard to keep a good attitude. And today I worked really hard on smiling all day. Because as an old guy, I come out grumpy sometimes, and so I'm trying to smile. I'm just working really hard because the people that have come into the sport, especially like Pleasure Point, they're all really nice. Like I see a lot of helmets and weird things you don't expect to see, but you kind of get, it's sort of off-putting at first, but then you go,
makes sense.
They feel the way we felt, and it's like, why would I take that from them?
Yeah, exactly.
We've been here forever.
Yeah.
So it's kind of I'm just kind of coming to terms with that, because it used to be the thing that saved me surfing. Right, it was a thing like, today sucked, girlfriend left me, whatever. Yeah. Right? Or I'm not making much money. Before I had TV jobs, I was working. I'd go to in San Francisco. I was before the Hispanic gentleman would do this, but I'd go stand by dumpsters in the Victorians, and I'd do labor for a long time, which was awesome. I'd do a day. I'd get $100 for a day or something.
Yeah.
But it was just nice to, it's. I lost my train of thought there. Where was I going? I was going somewhere important.
You're smiling.
Yeah, smiling. Smiling. I am. But just smiling and appreciating the people out there. And I smile now. I smile at the meanest guy I can see sometimes. The guy. And I'll smile, and then they won't smile back, and I'll just keep smiling at them. Yeah. It's kind of a dick move on my part.
It's dick move
until they smile.
Fake dick move. The fake smile is a dick move.
You're in the ocean. You're in the ocean. It's beautiful.
There was a picture of you and Obama. Did you? When I see that, it was online. Yeah. Right? Did you send it to me?
Yeah.
It was online.
Did you
Did you talk surfing with Obama or?
I didn't.
No?
He was. Yeah. He surfed. I think he was a boogie boarder. I think he was. So that would have been tough for me to. But no. Yeah. They asked me to go back to it was kind of a photo op. They did issue some climate report that basically said that the planet's warming, and they invited me and Al Roker and a couple, like only 5 of us. And we went out there and we hung out with their science advisors, and they just kind of wanted us to bring the message back to the people, But it was awesome. I mean, he was awesome. He's a really good dude. He's a really good dude, actually. Yeah. I didn't get a hang with him like I'd like to, but he was really cool.
Yeah,
well, it's kind of cool to have somebody that's at the top of the food chain saying there is climate change.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's kind of what it was. And the thing about Obama too was we were about the same age. So it's kind of weird when you see somebody with that much power, and we both knew who each other were. He knew who I was, I knew he was. It was kind of cool. It was really like, I kind of like this guy. Politically, I don't know where you stand, but he was a good dude.
I thought he was a great dude. I think he's one of the highest regarded presidents we've had. In my opinion, and the opinion of many people. I think he did a great job. He tried.
Good leader. Jimmy Carter too. Both those guys.
Right? He could talk. Yeah, I think with Jimmy Carter, in my honest opinion, I feel like he's underrated because he had a bad Iran hostage rescue. Right. It affected his record, in my opinion. But what he tried to accomplish is great.
Yeah, and what he did, at post presidency,
the Homeless Project.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
And
people
I got
who
to
do
work
that.
with him.
Oh, hang on.
Yeah,
she got to work with Jimmy.
Yeah.
The Habitat for Humanity, the things that he did are incredible, and you would hope that as a president, they would all strive to be.
Go on there. You need to go on the camera and say you work for the president.
When you have that kind of power,
when
you have that kind of power, and then you do a thing where you go beyond it and you make things better. You're really trying to make things better for other people. That you don't see that. You don't see that, unfortunately, a lot.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, because she's going to hate me for this. But can you tell me how proud you are of your sister?
Did she do something?
No, she did something. She's always doing something. This one right here.
No, Laura's awesome. Yeah, my sister's awesome. I've known her forever, but she's an older sister. So it's kind of like, what do you do with that?
Yeah.
And, a little nutty, but very good at, we grew up in a little shit town. Just not a shit town, but it was there wasn't opportunity for anybody. And Laura was really good at finding opportunity. Like she goes, okay, that's how I got to Berkeley. She goes, okay, I'm going to Berkeley now. You should maybe look at, getting out of the JC and maybe working your way over here, and then and just sort of pushing you. So when anytime you have siblings who are kind of pushing out,
I felt the loyalty push.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And stuff that we've done together. So,
I would concur with that.
Yeah, it took 2 years to get my bro.
Yeah,
I know.
I mean, we've had some politics type shows.
Yeah.
Where Laura was involved in and got some guests wrapped up for that. It was awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's important to have somebody in your life in your phone, because I was from a place where you don't go many places. It's hard to go anywhere.
Where was that?
Paradise.
Okay.
And it was, I said a shit little town. I shouldn't have said it. Wasn't. It's an awesome little town. I was talking about the economy was shit because it was really hard to figure. Because when you grow up somewhere, you want to stay. It's just the nature of you kind of want. Oh, this is fun. I love fishing the rivers, whatever. How can I make a living staying here? And people would try, but it was very difficult to do. And Laura was like, "No, I'm getting the hell out. Let's. I got a plan." And then I just, as a vector, I was like, "Oh no, yeah, look, you can do that too." So it was
Good job.
Yeah. When you were how old were you when you became fond of meteorology?
When little kid.
Right.
Little kid. Because we all are. I mean, we all are. Like we all are. Everybody loves weather, and it's just that thing I was saying earlier. People don't. There's a gatekeeper in science sometimes that bothers me. Like I think you put an artist in a physics class, you're going to get something really cool, right? But somehow the physics people keep the artist people, or the artist people keep the physics people away. They're just whatever. I don't know if they still do this, but when I was even at Cal, I sensed this division of of science and keeping people away and not understanding what's really going on here. And so my thing has always been just I just want. The more you understand, the more you know, the better off you are.
Yeah, right.
I don't know if I answered your question.
Yes, you did. Yeah.
I'd say one thing about him.
Yes.
For all those years he was at KTVU, he didn't put on like 60 pounds, like a lot of dudes do.
Oh yeah. He's
You
a
know?
fat dude. The hardest part, Hole Hanley, the guy that worked he was at KSBW for a while. I got him his job. Lee helped me get Holt. Holt was my intern. Holt worked at KSBW, but I told him, I said, because he's good. I go, listen, dude. I go, there's a lot of free time. There is. Like I can tell you, the easiest job in the world, television meteorologist. It's the easiest job in the world if you like what you're doing. If you don't like what you're doing, it'd be hard as hell.
Yeah.
But I go, you can't. You got to work out. You got to read.
You can't back on the pounds.
You got to read a lot of history. Read everything, because people are going to expect you to know everything. Like I have this weird ability. I know a little bit about everything. It's
Which is
weird.
awesome. Yeah.
It's weird, especially when you get into history and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I told him that because you're right. When the job is so. It's kind of glamorous, right? You're kind of back in the day before the internet, we were like the thing, and so you get that there's an ego.
I mean, people were asking for your autograph. That's right.
What's that?
People were asking for your autograph.
Oh God!
Yeah.
Right? What is that?
Yeah.
I know. My ears are shit from surfing. Sorry. No. Yeah. No. It's just a weird business, and now it's gotten to the point where it is trimmed back, and they're trimming it back a lot, and it's really hard on the people that came up behind me, like the kids the kids that were behind me, because they saw, oh my God, these guys have this, and now these kids they're streaming television now, so they're just on all the time.
Yeah.
They're just filling the gaps. But I will tell you this, I do think YouTube's going to just blow everything up, and already has. But the broadcast media is awesome, and has been, and was necessary. But it's going to have to change dramatically.
Absolutely.
It has to change dramatically. You can't do this.
I pay premium YouTube, and it's my cable TV now.
Yeah.
I dreaded commercials.
Yeah.
But when you pay I think it's like $15 a month or
right,
something.
Right.
It's the prime time deal.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. So it's interesting, but it's fun to be here to watch all this. Like you guys, we were talking about this when I came in. You guys were doing this 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Right. I just started doing the YouTube thing a few months ago. You guys have been doing this 10 years, and so that's way ahead of the curve. Real, and that's why. But seriously,
We have it down to a phone.
I was going to say
very streamlined.
A $10 microphone, $10 and a $12 still.
I'm so not. I walked in and I said,
Where's the studio?
Where's the studio? Oh, it's right here.
That's it.
It's right on the skateboard.
Hey,
wheels.
be glad you got a new phone. The old phone sucks.
It's bad.
Well, yeah. I want to see how the shot looks. There we go. I'm just curious because I'm always working. My son's a photographer.
The shot looks great.
It looks
Right?
pretty.
Look at the backdrop.
What if you lit it a little
Well,
more?
the thing is, my light burned out. I just
okay.
I
So
ordered 10
okay.
new lights.
Okay.
So
We'll be
folks,
back.
we have 10 new lights arriving tomorrow.
All you need is a couple lights.
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
see that this one right here, that's the one.
Your key light.
It died, yeah.
Your key
Transformer
light.
died, yeah.
Alrighty.
Loved it.
Are we
Yeah.
done?
We're
Yeah,
going to
we're
roll
done.
out. Unless you got something more for Bill?
No,
And
but
then
I just
put
got
it on YouTube channel.
Yes,
that?
please do.
Yeah, but give us
what-
give us all your stuff.
Well, Bill Martin, West Coast Weather. It's awesome. Here's what I'm gonna make. I'll make this promise. I want you to check it out too.
Hungry. Best Bill Martin West Coast Weather's your YouTube channel.
Yeah, it's my YouTube
Okay.
channel. I guarantee you will like it. I guarantee you will like it. I guarantee you. If they like this show, you will like this.
All right.
You like it?
Will you cover Santa Cruz on this show?
I do. I cover all the way to Santa Barbara and LA and whatever,
Okay.
as much as I can.
Bill
I'll let you know
Martin's
when I
West
watch.
Coast Weather.
Yep.
You gotta watch.
Yeah,
Yeah, I do
yeah.
it every day.
Yeah.
And it's like a little weather. It's like a little weather program. It's awesome. It's so fun. Like just
You know
watch
what?
it and
Yeah,
tell me
it's-
anything.
okay.
I guarantee you're gonna like it.
I can't wait.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
I know.
To guarantee.
Well, yeah.
I do
love
these videos for Santa Cruz waves. I do sunrise or sunset or just do the ocean, and that they don't want to listen to. They don't want this might get 2,000 views, 2,500 views.
Yeah.
You go take a picture of the ocean.
Yeah.
Be tens of thousands of people watching it.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I know.
It's crazy.
It's
Because
awesome.
wherever they are, it looks better
Yeah.
than where they
Well,
are.
you know what these new TVs do? I did this. I got the big 85er,
Yeah.
8K or 4K or
I
something.
got it. Yeah.
And I literally just put up like the steamer lane cam at sunset and just let it roll. Just let
Oh,
that
yeah.
thing ride. And just,
Uh-huh.
it's on my wall. It's beautiful. And you're at the
Beautiful.
beach. You're at
Yeah.
the beach.
Yeah.
I saw they make a TV now. It's framed like art.
I got one of those too. Yeah, Samsung.
Yeah. That's like a frame around
Do you
it.
play art through it?
No, I don't.
Mine have a subscription that you can get. I got a special, kind of like I'm a fancy guy. But I get all the Van Goghs. I get every month they give me new art supplies.
Wow.
So I just leave it on, culture.
That's very cool.
look really important.
Yeah, well, when people aren't over, it's ESPN.
I love that. Bill, thanks for
awesome.
coming here tonight.
Yeah.
Really
Thanks, Bill.
appreciate it. Yeah. 40-year career and continuing today.
Yeah.
And I just know during your time of doing the weather at KTVU, you gave people information that helped them.
Oh,
which
yeah.
is rad. And some trying times, storms and
Oh, God,
stuff,
yeah.
fires and explosions, and you were
Earthquake.
you were the knowledge of it
Yeah.
all.
Well, and a quick point to that is up in the hills here with the fires. There's so much. There's so much PTSD from this that's one of the things I noticed most on TV was when there's smoke, when people smell smoke or they see fire, especially in these hills, they freak out. And it's real. It's really real. Like even 4th of July, I get pissed at that. I was like, we shouldn't be doing this.
No,
we should not be
I
launching
agree.
fireworks. And not only because you're scaring pets, wildlife, animals, the people who have PTSD from
Yeah.
war,
Yeah.
you're really messing them up. And it's funny.
People don't care. People don't give a shit.
They don't seem to give a shit, and
No.
they should. They should because
Yeah.
it's really big. I
Talked
get
about
these
that,
phone
yeah.
calls.
Yeah.
I don't care about the cat, the dog. I don't care a shit.
No,
People
they
don't
don't
care.
I know. So that's one of the things I'm gonna work towards is trying to get us to stop doing fireworks. I called Governor Newsom out on my podcast. He doesn't watch.
Not yet.
But I just go, dude, you can stop this.
Well,
can at least
I
initiate
saw a
something.
drone show that was amazing.
I'm sure it was. I'm
Yeah,
sure
it was. I was like, wow, they made stuff with the 1,000
Yeah,
drones.
yeah.
It was incredible. It was better than a fireworks, no smoke.
Oh
and,
yeah. The
yeah,
drone
nothing
thing, yeah.
lands on the ground.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Were
But,
you- Oh, sorry.
but getting
Right.
back to it though, you always had a calm delivery.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I think that's important in news. To keep it calm. Don't
Yeah.
And don't. I was always worried. PTSD again. I was always worried I was going to scare people, and with flooding or lightning or whatever.
You what? Dollarville
And
Dam? Oh yeah.
you can scare people,
Okay.
or you can tell them what you think is going to happen. And most people just go the other way and broadcast because that's you're managing expectations. If it doesn't happen, oh, good thing it didn't happen, but I warned you. Don't warn me if it's not a good chance it's going to happen.
Right.
You know?
I love it.
There was a little bird in my ear asking me about what's going on or what's happening with the Oroville Dam. We
What
talked
happened
about.
during that event?
What happened during that
Well,
event?
that
Yeah.
could have been
That
one
was
of the worst
terrifying.
disasters in history.
I just brought that up to my wife yesterday. I was like, watching that was the scariest thing I've ever seen. Because we watched them build that dam with Dad, 98 years old. That spillway to the right was the dam's earthen filled. The spillway had a concrete cap, I believe, but it was fill underneath that. And so Dad said if it ever goes over, which it did, that thing's going to start to erode really quickly. And when that was happening, I was working on live TV, and I was like, oh my God. I mean, that's Sacramento. I mean,
I think that's our largest reservoir, right?
Oh, it's second largest.
Second largest? Yeah, okay.
But it's huge. But it would have been devastating beyond. And it was weird how we just sort of swept that one under the rug. It shouldn't have been. Now it's the closest we've ever come to something like that. Ever,
Major disaster.
ever that I can think of. Yeah.
Well, that was scary. Glad it didn't happen.
Dude, it's nice to meet you.
But
we have
Phil.
a lot of friends in common.
We have tons of friends in
Isn't
common.
it crazy?
I
I
know.
know.
It's so crazy how we.
If we get to get some Marin, I might just pack up and leave and come back an hour later.
We've surfed together.
I think we have.
I've seen you in the water.
Well, it was great to meet you. It was great to have you on the show.
Yeah.
We'll get you back. We'll
sure.
catch up soon. And thanks for everybody for tuning in to the Off the Lip Radio Show. Even though we're a podcast, we still call it that.
Next week we're off, but
We're taking next week off.
Following week is Dr. Hetzler.
The number one ear surfer's ear
And he
specialist.
will be giving free ear checks. So if you want to have your ears checked and don't want to wait 6 months,
Yep.
then he's going to come. He'll be down here with his otoscope, whatever the hell he calls it. I forgot what
Yep.
they call it.
That sounds awesome. Perfect. We'll do that. And everybody have a safe week. We'll see you in 2 weeks on the Off Lip Radio Show. And good
Oh,
night.
by the way, Lee Solomon coming on.
Oh, we got
Lee-
doing.
Lee got
He got a new
Yeah,
gig.
yeah.
I know exactly.
Lee hasn't spilled the beans. He's going to spill the beans.
He's going to tell us why he got a new gig. We'll
He
get
fishes
on.
entirely too much.
He loves fishing.
Yeah.
He's getting married. He's getting married Friday. So
Got a lot to talk about. That's in 2 weeks. Good night, everybody.